Effa Manley was the first African-American woman to own a professional Negro baseball team. Throughout her ownership, she continually fought for the rights of her players and ensured that they had the same opportunities as white ones. Manley's enormous influence in the Major League Baseball industry fought against social inequality and changed society in a positive way. Many other individuals are continuing to fight for social equality by using their position in athletics.
Modern day, being openly gay while participating in a professional sport is extremely challenging. For LGBT athletes, sports are a, quote, a high-pressure and stressful environment, end quote, Velez 72. Being the first openly gay American football player drafted to a team in the NFL, Michael Sam continuously struggled with being accepted by other players. During his senior year at the University of Missouri, Michael Sam was unashamed of his new sexual identity and came out without fear of it affecting his NFL career. Quote, many were inspired by his courage, end quote, due to the fact that he came out the year he was trying to be drafted to the NFL. Velez 72. Sadly, Michael Sam did not get the opportunity to show people his talents being a part of the NFL for very long. In 2014, before the season started, Michael Sam was, quote, cut from the St. Louis Rams and waived from the Dallas Cowboys practice squad, end quote, Velez 72. When Michael Sam got dropped in 2014, the media made sure the nation knew that his decision to come out, quote, may have cost him a long-term career in the NFL, end quote, Velez 72. As a result of having the courage to come out, Michael Sam's story started to become very discouraging to the LGBT community. Throughout the decades, there have been a multitude of people who have decided to challenge social norms. One memorable social activist is Effa Manley, who was the first woman to co-own a baseball team. During her time co-owning the Newark Eagles, Effa Manley fought for equal treatment of her players in all aspects. Being African American and a woman, men were extremely hesitant about letting a woman co-own a baseball team. No matter the cost, both Michael Sam and Effa Manley always stood up for what they believed in. Although they both focused on different aspects of social inequality, Michael Sam and Effa Manley both stopped at nothing to ensure equal treatment for their community. Effa Manley defied all odds, being the only African-American woman to co-own a baseball team, and Michael Sam shocked the nation when he became openly gay his senior year of college. While Effa Manley and Michael Sam were social activists in their own ways, Marta Vieira de Silva is a social activist who fights for gender inequalities in athletics.
Marta Vieira de Silva is a female international soccer player who is continuing to fight for gender equality in athletics. However, she chose to fight silently but successfully. Although women are permitted to play sports, they are still being criticized and treated unfairly. Marta is a wonderful role model to young girls wishing to play male-oriented sports because she refuses to react to the insensitive comments and opinions that are directed towards her as well as other female athletes. She has been abused by her brothers for wanting to play soccer, called sexist and degrading names by the audience, and has been treated unfairly by the media. However, she did not let these things affect her. She used her position to dignify the audience's attitude towards female athletes and push them to see her as an athlete rather than just a woman. Quote, Marta's performances of gender and female masculinity indubitably fit the descriptions of, as Halberstam puts it herself, a unique form of social rebellion, not in opposition to the law, but through indifference to the law. End quote. Marira, page 512. By ignoring the audience and the media, Marta was able to let her success as a female athlete speak for itself and show them that male athletes are not their superior, but their equal. Effa Manley was a co-owner of her Negro League team, the Newark Eagles. When she was introduced to the idea of integrating the Negro Leagues and the Major Leagues, she worked hard to ensure that her players received the same treatment as the white players. It was very important to Manley that her players were being taken care of by this new league and that they were being paid enough. While Effa Manley fought for equal treatment between the black and white players, Marta Vieira de Silva is now fighting towards equal treatment between male and female athletes. Marta used her platform to fight for social inequality like Effa Manley used hers to guarantee the same for the people that she cared about. College football players are experiencing another form of social inequality because they believe that they should be paid for playing sports.
The Northwestern Unionization Campaign was formed to compensate college football players. Although college athletes do not currently receive pay for their performance, many believe they should. Some say that this is a form of social inequality because they deserve to be paid, while others say they do not deserve pay since they are in school for academics, not athletics. This small organization led to the creation of the National College Players Association, becoming, quote, the nation's most prominent organization of college athletes, end quote, Gilbert 1. This organization pushed for multiple measures benefiting college athletes' safety, health, and education. The NCAP eventually passed the Student Athletes Bill of Rights in 2012. The Student Athletes Bill of Rights is a bill that clearly states health rights, what college athletes can and cannot do, and a plan for emergency action in any situation. While the athletes did get change in the form of the Student Athletes Bill of Rights, they are still not being paid to play. Just like Effa Manley's role in desegregating Major League Baseball, the Northwestern Unionization Campaign is also fighting for social inequality in college athletics. The social inequality battle is so important that individuals like Colin Kaepernick have started to stand up for what they believe in without the help of groups like the Northwestern Unionization Campaign.
In this image, Colin Kaepernick is featured kneeling during the national anthem in a Time article called "Colin Kaepernick Had No Choice But to Kneel," written by Michael Zagaris. In 2016, NFL player Colin Kaepernick began an enormous movement protesting police brutality. With his simple actions, Kaepernick caused an uproar from fans and the media. With the attention on him, Kaepernick's message left a powerful mark on society. Many Americans followed in support of his protest, bringing a national awareness to the civil rights movement. From the start of the 2016 NFL season, Kaepernick repeatedly kneeled during the singing of the national anthem. Teammate Eric Reed joined him on the sidelines in a protest against the unjust treatment of black citizens by policemen. This peaceful demonstration revealed to be a powerful message to the nation, headlining across television, social media, and newspapers. There was much controversy surrounding Kaepernick's protest, causing Americans to debate his patriotism and question society's emphasis on equality. Whether Americans agreed or not, their attention was on Kaepernick. His platform enabled him to convey his message across the United States. In the article Athletic Disobedience by Tom Rourke and Adam Copeland, Kaepernick refused, quote, to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color, end quote. Kaepernick succeeded in becoming a role model to many individuals, including different athletes all over the nation who began kneeling during the national anthem at their games. Effa Manley and Colin Kaepernick participated in a similar route of events. While Manley used her position in the MLB to push for social equality, Kaepernick used his position in the NFL to do the same. Manley was criticized for being an African-American woman in the baseball industry, while Kaepernick's protest angered many and risked his career. Like Manley was eventually honored for her desegregation efforts, Americans came to recognize and respect Kaepernick's use of his First Amendment rights. Their actions elevated civil rights issues. Manley successfully integrated Major League Baseball, while Kaepernick challenged equal enforcement of the law and the actuality of national equality. Another athlete named Kyrie Irving challenged this and protested against police brutality as well.
This image comes from Nate Scott's USA Today article titled "LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Nets players who wear I Can't Breathe shirts before Cavs game," and the athlete at the center of this image is former Cleveland Cavaliers point guard Kyrie Irving. In this image, Kyrie Irving is wearing a shirt that says "I Can't Breathe" across the front in bold white letters. Those words are significant because they were the last words of Eric Garner, who was unjustly killed by an NYPD officer in July of 2014. His killing caused national outrage, and several NBA players started this t-shirt campaign to bring awareness to police brutality across the United States. Many NBA players, WNBA players, and college basketball players also joined in the campaign. Effa Manley was adamant that her players get the same treatment as white players when the integration of baseball occurred, and athletes today are also using their large reach and influence to fight for equality. Both Manley and today's athletes witnessed injustices towards people of color, and whether it was racism in Major League Baseball or police brutality in the United States, they both used their position of power to try to create change. Another example of athletes fighting for equality occurred during the 2013 World Athletics Championship.
Sarah Mam and Stuart Wallage published this image to Daily Mail in an article titled "Female Russian Athletes Kissing After Relay Victory at World Championships Cause Homophobic Stir as Gay Rights Jumper Ordered to Repaint Rainbow Nails." In 2013, Russia passed an anti-gay law that punished the spreading of information regarding homosexuality to minors. The World Athletics Championship followed this ruling, and several athletes decided to take action against the law while competing at the event. Among those who participated in the protests were two female Russian track runners. Ksenia Ryzhova and Tatiana Firova are acclaimed Russian gold medalists in the 2013 World Athletics Championship in Moscow. The two females kissed after winning the 4x400 meter race. With the anti-gay laws recently put into place, Rizhova and Firova decided to begin kissing after races and on the winning podium as a protest that they hoped the entire country would see. Several other athletes at the event followed in their footsteps and also protested the new law in peaceful ways. Like Rizhova and Firova, Effa Manley partook in actions stressing the importance of an equal society. Manley found part-time work for the baseball players in the winter, and while she allowed her players to integrate into the major leagues, she never allowed the Negro ballparks to be taken. Most importantly, she demanded compensation for losing her players. Manley stood up for the rights of her players and herself. While the situations between Manley, Rizhova, and Firova are different, all of these women persevered for fair and equal rights they, as well as others, deserved. Other athletes at the University of Kentucky have interesting takes on social inequalities in sports today.
Nasir Watkins is a freshman football player at the University of Kentucky. We asked him what social issues he believes should be improved in sports. His answer shows that he is very passionate about change.
I feel like every athlete should be respected the same, no matter what sport they play, no matter what gender they are, no matter what race they are, or what background they come from. I feel like in the future, I would prefer if we were all treated just as important as each other.
Discrimination is a prevalent issue in sports, and regardless of your identity, every athlete should be treated equally. Just like Effa Manley, Nasir Watkins believes that social change is crucial in order for every player to be respected and treated fairly.
Will Roden is a freshman football player who is redshirting this season, and he had an interesting take on how racism and inequalities affect athletes.
Anytime something outside of the sport gets in your head, it's going to affect your play. And I guess you can count discrimination as in something outside the sport getting in your play.
Will's comments regarding how racism could affect athletic performance are a perfect example of why the work that Effa Manley and so many others have done in trying to promote equality is so important. Anyone having to deal with racism on a daily basis would have a hard time doing their job. So the ongoing fight for equality is a vital step in creating a society where everyone feels accepted.